So our Speedy summer of racing is nearly at an end. For the last 3 months, we've had great fun entering and taking part in all different sorts of races. We've done 10Ks in Newcastle, Barnsley and Lincolnshire. We had a lovely time down in Suffolk doing the Sudbury 5 so Dawn could go for the club female 60 record. We've taken part in track and field events, something new for us since we started this channel. And I also enjoyed doing a road relay event for my club. And we've done a handful of faster park runs. But with the autumn marathon season just a few months away, it's now time to dive into serious marathon training. So those of you who followed my marathon journey in particular for a while will know that the past year has not exactly been littered with success. October 2023, Yorkshire Marathon, DNF at 16 miles. February 2024, Marriott's Way Trail Marathon, Norfolk, to give me a chance to finish a marathon comfortably. It's unwalkable, never mind unrunnable. Manchester Marathon, April 2024, DNF at 18 miles, legs just ran out of power. And to top it off, the Halstead Marathon, May 2024, we finished, but then ended up in Colchester General Hospital having collapsed at the end. So in this video, I'm going to go through 5 things that are going to change about our training, moving from our Speedy summer series into our autumn marathon schedule. And if you stick around to the end, I'll go through which marathons we're running and why and what we hope to achieve in them. So the first and most obvious thing we're going to do as we move into marathon training is increase the mileage. More recently we've been doing between 30 and 40 miles a week because we've been doing lots of races. Now we hope to be getting up to hitting 60, 70 and even an 80-mile week. But the cornerstone of that increase in mileage will obviously be the long run. Now over the past few weeks the longest I've got up to has been 10 miles. Dawn's been maintaining sort of 16 miles because her marathon's a little bit earlier than mine. But what I'm going to do is increase those runs so I can get in at least 5 or 6 runs of 20 miles or more. And another key difference compared to the training block for the Manchester Marathon is some of those runs will incorporate structured sessions, blocks at marathon pace, alternating easy marathon pace, easy marathon pace, to get my frame used to running hard over longer distances. So the second change in our training over the next 3 months is going to be having some structure to it. Now because we've done so many races in the last few months, often racing twice a week, or on one occasion me doing 7 events in one day, we haven't done many structured speed sessions. We've mainly been relying on strides and explosive hill sprints for our additional work. Now moving into our autumn marathon, Dawn very kindly for my birthday back in March bought me a marathon plan. And the marathon plan, thank you. And the marathon plan she actually invested in was the Ben Parks one. So she put in for the sub 3-hour marathon plan, which is a bit ambitious for me at the minute, but we're going to follow the structure. We're going to make tweaks where necessary to fit in with our movements during the summer, what we're capable of, how we're feeling. So we're not going to treat it as a script from the Bible that must be followed at all costs, but we're going to use it as a broad structure to follow for our autumn 2024 marathon training. So what does that plan look like that's different to before? Well, one thing I mentioned earlier was the structure in the long runs. It builds up to the long runs being mega long sessions, alternating, as I said, easy pace and marathon pace. So that's one difference. The other difference is it works at paces from interval through tempo threshold down to that marathon pace. But one of the ways we will be changing it, it assumes that every day where you're training, you've got a chunk of time to devote to running. For example, 7, 8, 9 mile runs. Now, because the way our running is, what I'll often prefer to do those, if I've got, say, an 8 mile easy run, for some days, particularly if I've got a session the next day, I might choose to split it into 2 4 mile easy runs. I'm still getting the volume. It's not particularly volume building focused day. And I'll get 2 doses of human growth hormone by training twice a day for 2 4s rather than 1 8. And I'll get the extra recovery between runs, which will hopefully leave me fresher for those key sessions in the plan. So are any of you following a structured plan for an autumn marathon? If you are, tell me which one in the comments below. And the third thing that's going to change as we move from early summer into later summer is the amount of races we do. Now we're both feeling a little bit raced out. If you saw Dawn's recent video about the Great North 10K, she's basically running very tired. So we're going to cut out doing so many races. But what races we are going to do, I'll let you know now. So as ever, in mid-August we'll be doing the Dereham 5K. I've done that every year since it started in 2011. It's one of my absolute favourite races around the country, wouldn't miss it for the world. And I should be taking part in the Podium 5K in Butte Park, Cardiff. A week after that, it's one I've had my eye on for a few years. Really looking forward to taking part in probably the first and slowest of a series of races which build into an international competition by the end of the evening.
So, newsflash just in. So I got an email today telling me I've been selected to represent the England Masters at the Mid-Cheshire 5K on the 23rd of August.
We shall probably be doing the Stir Half in early August in Dorset, a race I've done several times in the past, so being on holiday there. We'll be doing that more as one of those structured long runs, alternating marathon pace and easy pace, but we'll be appearing there but not racing it. And similarly, the South Cheshire 20 in early September, we're looking to enter that and again use the race environment to execute one of those tough long run training sessions. And we do have one goal half marathon race planned within this training block, 15th of September, the Lake Vyrnwy half marathon, a race we last did I believe back in 2011, and 75 minutes that day. But yeah, it's a lovely route around Lake Vyrnwy. It's sheltered if it's windy, it's got tree canopy if it's raining, if it's hot you've got the shade. Really is set up for fast times and a lovely route. So Lake Vyrnwy half marathon on the 15th of September. So yeah, over the next 3 months, that's calculating for me 3 all-in race efforts across 3 months. There may be a cheeky park run or two slotted in there if we end up at a fast course, and fancy a pop at a fast park run time. So the fourth thing that's going to change in our training, and this hopefully is going to be a massive game changer, is running technique. Now, I've alluded to that in a couple of previous videos. After my blowout at the Halstead Marathon, the one where I ended up in hospital at the end, I'd actually been struggling once again from about 14-15 miles. And a friend messaged me who watches the channel and he said, I've been looking at your running style and comparing it to many other people on running YouTube. And he said he noticed my hips collapsing. He reckons there's no power come from my glutes, which is why my quads give out earlier than they should and my hips give out. And he was quite right. So following that advice, we've sought out a running technique specialist based in Leeds. We've been going there for some analysis of our running technique, and we've been putting into place specific exercises to alter that technique. We've seen some of her before and after videos of runners who've worked her in the past. So I can do all the things I mentioned earlier, the long runs, the structured speed work, following a plan, but it all will come to nothing if once again at 15-16 miles of my autumn marathon, I'm in Blowout City again. So hopefully the fourth thing that's going to change and be the real game changer and get me over the finish line of that marathon is altering and working on my running technique. And Dawn will be doing the same. She's obviously nowhere near in the same boat as I am because she completes her marathons, but there's always things you can think about and improve on as runners, even when you've been running as long as we have. And then the fifth and final thing that's going to change as we move into marathon training is our ability to recover. So both Dawn and myself work in schools as we have done for over 30 years, and it's a job we absolutely love. What it does mean that during the working year, we're up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm driving around all over the place, she's dealing with quite challenging situations sometimes, and by the time we come to do our session in the evening, we're really tired, and we really value the friends that we have to help get us out the door, hold us accountable, and get those evening runs done. But because we do work in schools, we also have the benefit of having 6 weeks not at work through late July and all of August. So what impact will this have on our marathon training? Well, the first and most obvious one is sleep. At the minute, we're looking at between 6 and 6.5 hours of sleep per night. That's just the way it is. Once we've done our working day, done our training, done all the other bits and pieces we do, we're looking at between 6 and 6.5 hours of sleep per night currently. But for those 6 glorious weeks of summer, we'll be able to increase that to around the recommended 8 hours. We both found last year that we peaked in our running year in early October, where we'd obviously had the benefit of the sleep and recovery during the summer holidays. We'd got more training in and we felt fresh and relaxed and hit some good times in October. In addition, not having the demands of work for 6 weeks means we can do all those extras that sometimes get neglected because we're so rushed for time. Using a foam roller, doing a little bit more stretching, as well as sticking to the exercise routines we've been given by our running movement specialist. So there we go, folks. 5 things we're going to change in our training as we move into an autumn marathon. Now, which autumn marathon? If you stayed all this way, well done, and I'll now reveal which marathons we're doing. Dawn will be taking part in the Chester Marathon on the first Sunday in October. The reason she's doing that is that it is an England Masters race. She qualified by finishing high up in her age category in the Manchester Marathon, so she'll be running in the England vest. It's also the British Masters Marathon Championships, so a double competition there for her. She's done Chester a few years ago, ran really well. It's a fantastically organised event, and I'm fully looking forward to supporting her on there. So if it's so good, why are you not doing the Chester Marathon, John? I might hear you ask, or maybe not. Well, after my recent DNF experiences, there's no way I want to be out on a course struggling and fading and pulling out at 16 to 18 miles and having Dawn to witness that, and me being in the middle of the Cheshire countryside. I need the Welsh countryside because it passes into Wales, that race. So I have decided to do a different marathon, and if I can get this training nailed and this running technique nailed, I will be taking part in the Abingdon Marathon in late October. So that's a marathon I first did back in 2004, and it still remains my PB to this day of 2:42:10. Dawn did it last October and ran really well, finishing top in her age category. What I really like about Abingdon is the ease of personal organisation. You can park like half a mile from where the start is. I was able to see Dawn at 3 different parts on the course, encourage her, hand her gels, hand her drinks. So in terms of her being able to support me, it's the best bet for an autumn marathon. So there we have it, folks. What's changing about our training and what our goals are for our autumn marathons. So I hope this video has given you some insights into the way our training will be moving forwards. And if you've enjoyed watching it, please give it a like. And if you'd like to see how we get on through our marathon training through the summer and early autumn of 2024, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's absolutely free, and we upload our videos twice a week.
So until next time, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.